Possums have come from backyard situations, or the airports, or downtown, or my favourite coffee shop. The interurban living possum I find really hard to release in an urban situation, so we have a little chat to DBCA about where they can go. But most possums are returned to within a kilometre of where they came from because they're extremely territorial. The little babies that are now orphaned by mothers who died from their injuries, they will go to Possum Finishing School and be part of the journey that is our science. Our science project's a pretty big science project, our research project, so that we can learn more about the possums. But all possums that come into care come with their address and they go back to their address, but we do like to release them with a dray, so at least they've got somewhere to hang out that is safe for their first few nights before they go off to find other places. I just hope that what we're seeing, the damage that we're seeing to possums is just because of this heat event. Someone's telling me it's going to get even hotter next month. I can't bear the thought of that. Hopefully things will go back to normal, temperature will go back to normal, and they'll just live their happy little possum lives.
Any questions? Okay. Can you be a conservationist and own a cat or a dog?
Great question. 100%. You definitely can. You definitely can. So if you have a cat or a dog, you definitely can coexist with a western ringtail possum. So if you have a dog, so our dogs are a threat to the western ringtail possum. So the recovery plan for the western ringtail possum talks a bit about domestic dog ownership in the city of Busselton, but it's still relevant here as well. The density of dog registrations in the city of Busselton is 4 times more dense than it is than foxes are in the natural bushland. So dogs, and we do see dogs come into care possums come into care from dog attacks, so that is definitely a factor. And what we can do as dog owners, the golden star thing that you can do is have your dog stay indoors at night time. If that's not an option, then if you have an outdoor dog, then you can do some possum fencing ideas. That way the possum can move safely through the landscape with good grip and height. So at the back you'll see my stall there. We've got some displays of possum grips and possum bridges for your backyard. Colour bond fences, particularly at the top, are very slippery. If a dog runs up and jumps on the fence, the possum can fall in, and also its tail hangs down. So there's a few things you can do along your fence. And also there's some possum aversion training that Geocache in Busselton has been running, and we've been running up here as well. And that's when you're toileting your dog outside at night time, it's all about positive reinforcement training. So you're the most important person, not the possum. And so we'll be running some training hopefully in the city of Bunbury. And if you want to come along, please come and sign up at the back. If you own a cat, so a lot of people think that cats would be a huge issue for predation of western ringtails. Potentially it's more dogs. Just want to state that fact. We haven't got huge amount of perfect data on that, but that's what we assume. So with cats, the best thing you can do is keep your cat contained on the property boundaries. There's lots of ways that you can do that, and it has multiple benefits for your cat safety as well. So if you have a cat enclosure, which can be a simple cat net, which we have a display down the back at $6 a metre. That cat net is so cheap. Everyone goes, oh, they're so expensive. They're not at all. And it's $6 a metre for the cat net. You can run it down your fence up to the just below the gutter, the eaves, and you can put a zip door on, and you can deck it out with cool plants and climbing frames and all kinds of different things. or you can enclose your existing patio. There's lots of different ways that you can give your cat access to the outdoors, but keep it contained on the property. And you immediately eliminate the highest risks that we see cats come into care or unfortunately pass away, which is road deaths and cat attacks. So you immediately wipe that risk out. So yeah, that's how we can coexist. And the other thing is friendly gardening. So if you don't have enough room to have a huge peppy tree, there's lots of things that you can plant on your fence to give them a bit of grip along the top of the fence, but also we've got a bit of a possum salad bar demonstration at the back. So you might like to go to Leschenault Community Nursery, little plug for them, and talk to them about creepers for your fence. So there's lots of native creepers that you can put, and they will love to eat those and have a bit of grip as well. Yep, and I just wanted to add that it's illegal to trap and remove possums from your yard, so that needs to be done by a licensed trapper, and not many people have them. The other thing is with removing a possum from your yard and putting it somewhere else, you may be putting it into another possum's territory. So what happens when we, like us, if we were taken from our house and plopped somewhere where we weren't familiar with, they get stressed, and so they'll come down from the tree or up high and they'll be on the ground, and then they're exposed to foxes, cats and dogs, things like that. So they're also territorial, so we want to make sure that we can coexist with them on the property as much as we can. So yeah, that's what we can try and do.
Well, it seems like there's an awful lot we can do, so thank you so much. If people want more information, the Southwest Catchment Council, FAWNA, and also a really great idea to pop into the nursery. And if you're going to be doing the gardening anyway, you may as well put something in there that's, two birds with one stone, but we want to keep the birds around, so we'll have to make up a better analogy. I've been given the nod. One more question? Who have you got a question for?
This question is for Angie. Is Angie able to mention the word possum at least half a dozen times a week on her radio show?
All right, this is fun. I like this question. Here we go. So this is the way that commercial radio works, right? You get a presenter, and there's music and talking and ads, and local businesses from the Southwest put ads in those spots, so you hear about things that are happening here. If people like the presenter, they'll listen to them, so that the local business are getting their messaging out, and you've got somebody that represents your community in a cross-section between ABC, community radio and commercial. It's a bit of a blend. So if you like the things that I talk about on the show, like possums and whales and good news stories and how to be a community and look after each other and have each other's back, then you can be a caller and call me up and talk to me about possums. You can tell me possum stories. I bloody love it when people call me up and tell me random stories. I had a woman ring me up last year and tell me that there were 4 cows on the loose on an oval in Bunbury. It was hilarious. I love it. Bring it on. You call me. This is your radio show, Southwest. I say it all the time, and people don't necessarily know what that means when I say it. Also, if you like me as the presenter specifically, you can throw your support behind me in a really easy way. You can comment on my trash on social media, you can call up the show, you can tell me what's happening in your community when I ask for it. You can download the Listener app, you can subscribe to my feed, you can favourite my podcasts, and I always put the catch-up chats that's anything related to this on my podcast. You can support me that way, because then my bosses are like, oh, well, whatever she's talking about, people in the Southwest like to hear it. We'll keep her. And that's how commercial radio works. So it's your show, Southwest. I put on the show what you want to hear, and you know where I am. 6 till 9, 13353. It can't get easier than that.